This week has been a busy one in the computing world. On the console side of things, Microsoft released the specs and pricing of the next generation of Xbox consoles, with rumors abound about what Sony's next move is going to be. Nvidia started dropping sneak peeks, prices, benchmarks of the 30 series GPUs. AMD announced the announcement of the Zen 3 CPUs, not to be mistaken for the 3000 CPUs. Those use the Zen 2 architecture, not the new Zen 3 that's coming out. AMD also announced the announcement of Big Navi 2, their next generation in GPU, probably playing off the hype of Nvidia's release. All speculation. But let's start with Microsoft. The Xbox Series X and Series S. The X is going to be sporting a custom AMD octa-core CPU at 3.8 GHz. The GPU will have 52 compute units running at 1.825 GHz, 16 gigs of GDDR6 RAM, 10 of those at 560 gigabytes a second, and 6 of them at 365 gigabytes a second. 1 terabyte of NVMe solid-state storage, so anything that's going to be installed on the drive itself will be fired up at lightning speeds. All in all, you should be able to play at 4K resolution with 60 frames per second. This console is going to be hard to compete with at the same price for PC gamers, seeing as you can get your hands on it for only $500. Now, the Series S is priced only at $300, and for what you get out of it, it is worth every penny and then some. Again, you get the octa-core CPU, but this one's just a bit slower at 3.6 GHz. The GPU will only have 20 compute units at 1.565 GHz, 10 gigs of DDR6 RAM, with 8 of them being at 224 gigs a second, and then 2 of them being only at 56 gigs a second. Your internal storage is also going to be taking a hit, holding only 512 gigabytes of data, but you still have that NVMe speeds. Now, the speed difference between these two consoles will definitely be evident from one to the next, but you will get what you pay for, and then even more so. In today's world, you can't even get these specs in the PC, and that's pretty interesting, seeing as that in the past years, console components will be based off of current PC parts. But to speculate, if you were to recreate this PC, the CPU alone would cost you almost $300. So you're definitely getting more than a lot of bang for your buck. Now let's talk Sony. This is mostly based on speculation and rumor, but taking the talking points off of Sony's website itself, they're claiming a lot of the same for the PS5 as Xbox has claimed for the Series X. For Sony, we're seeing NVMe storage speeds, we're seeing 4K gaming capabilities with ray tracing graphical computing in 2 different consoles, one that will have a disk drive and one that will be fully digital. Other than that, Sony's been keeping everything pretty locked up as far as technical details go. All we do know is if they plan on competing with these ridiculously low prices from Xbox, they better have some news out really soon. I'm just going to briefly mention the 30 series GPUs by Nvidia. They look amazing. The price, the specs, the actual aesthetics of them, there's a lot to be excited about. And I could talk about them all day, but so could 1,000 other YouTubers, so I'm just going to skip over it for now until I can get my hands on one. Moving on. We have AMD's newest CPUs getting announced at the beginning of October, and I actually thought this was pretty funny how they went about this. The dev team made a cryptic tweet one day. The next day, AMD's main Twitter uploaded a picture announcing something to do with their next-gen CPUs and GPUs coming in October. Now, this release date is just an announcement of an announcement? Maybe. But only time will tell. There are leaks and rumors that point towards major improvements in the Zen architecture. The codename Vermeer CPUs will package 2 core complex dies, one with an I/O die inside the chip package itself, and the other on the outside looking a lot like the Zen 2 chips. But here the leaks are showing that the Zen 3 chips will be able to allow all 8 cores to directly access the same 32 megabytes of shared L3 cache, as opposed to with the Zen 2 octa-core chips. They would be split into 2 different core complexes, and 4 cores would have to share off of the 16 megabytes of L3 cache each. Now, I know that that's a lot of numbers and statistics, but what this really amounts to is that if the full 8 cores are sharing the same cache, that could actually dramatically lower the latency of overall computation time. Other than those core specs, we get to look at the max supported RAM. So native speed supports will be for the DDR4 3200. I was really hoping for DDR5 support. Again, these are all rumors and speculations, but there has been actual licensing to the DDR5 RAM architecture, and that's something to be really excited about, and companies are starting to grab that licensing and work with it and make it their own. Now, rolling back, the DDR4 3200 RAM, this is exactly the same cap as the Zen 2 CPUs, but the max capacities get bumped up to 512 gigabytes, which is a just crazy amount. Now, as far as Big Navi 2 goes, I don't know how credible the leaks and rumors are, so I'm not going to comment just yet, but I'll keep my eyes and ears open to see what's coming in the future. For now, though, let me know your opinions or what you think, and if you like this video, please like it and subscribe for more content in the future. But for now, I'm Waylon, and this is At the PCs.